What's up guys, Arvin Concepcion aka Concept Creatives, and I have returned with an upgraded version of a behind the scenes. Before you would usually see my behind the scenes in the weekly vlogs, but since there are no more weekly vlogs, I am very happy and proud to present the behind the scenes as its own separate video. So since I don't want to make this introduction too long, I'm just going to go straight to it. So I got invited to cover this event, this Global Village Integrated Ends event last week. So I covered that whole event by myself, and this episode will demonstrate or show you an insight on what I was thinking while shooting, what was I shooting with, and how was I shooting throughout the whole event. And so without further ado, start that intro. So the event I covered is called the Global Village Integrated Ends. And I had Miko Di Malanta shoot the behind the scenes for me, so thank you. And for those of you gearheads, I was using the Panasonic G7 with the 25 f1.7 with the Yunting monopod for a very run and gun light setup, so I can get everything I need to get while shooting. So here I'm just looking around for reactions and interactions, really. That was really important for me, and you can see here that Jem, the person who invited me, is interacting with the participants, which is really important, and the participants here interacting with each other was really important to capture. And of course, I was trying to get the organized community themselves, you know, with their reactions and whatnot. Here we're getting the props. So here the event started. We have our host addressing the participants and just setting the overall tone, and of course I needed to capture that for the edit. So here we have the host interacting with the audiences, which is really important to have. So here the participants are getting hyped up and they're getting ready to dance and follow along with the ISIC people. So here they're dancing and I have to run around and shoot that. So here are some Panasonic G7 ungraded 1080p at 60 frames per second, slowed down at 40% footage. So the secret here was to not stop recording. And so I had to run around while the record button is still on so I don't miss any moment. I just have to set my position and then pull the focus. As you can see here, I'm moving around and the record button's still on. We're still recording. I'm just trying to find really great reactions. So here we have the first speaker, which we'll have like a lot of speakers here. So my main point here is to get a lot of angles when a person's speaking, especially if you're covering the event alone. Try to move around and get a lot of angles of each of the speakers and maybe even a couple of audience reactions right here. And yeah. So right here, I'm actually at the back of the crowd now, so I'm getting multiple angles as I've said, which is really important. So here I wanted to kind of show that there were a lot of people and then there's this one speaker trying to address them all. So here we have our second speaker. I'm on the right side now, so I moved around again. And I try as much as to give headroom to each of the speakers that I shoot, so that when I crop in, they don't get cut off too much. So here I'm trying to get the audience's reactions, and they're clapping all together to cheer on the guy, which is a really nice moment. So as you can see here, the Chinese girls are dancing, but I forgot to do a 60 frames per second footage. So I had to stop recording and then go switch and then record again. So again, I'm on the left side now, then I'm behind the crowd. So I'm getting multiple angles of each speaker. And here we have the interaction between speaker and participant. So that is a really nice moment to have. So here they are announcing that the booths are now open for all the participants, and here I'm trying to get the transition between speaking and then the booth interaction. So that's that part. So here's some Panasonic G7 ungraded footage at 4K at 24 frames per second. So this event started at a very low light setting, and I really liked to have some backlights, because backlight for me is just super cinematic. So throughout the whole interactions in the booth, I tried to get interactions between the participants and the committee members and the participants and the foreigners, and I really wanted to get all of that. So here I am, not knowing what else to shoot. So for some reason there was people dancing here, and I loved that moment, so I captured it 60 frames per second. And here we have another participant and committee member interacting, so that's nice. So here I am on top of the chairs trying to get the rotation of each group going through each booth. So here we have our speaker telling everyone that the event's almost ending, and I was so happy that the people that worked the lights put the light on her, so like she had like a little bit of spotlight on her, so that was really nice. So we have the community members kind of interacting, singing their song, so that's really nice. I didn't get to put any of that in the edit because I was moving my camera a lot. So here we have their dancing number at the end of the event, and I quickly set up my camera to 60 frames per second so I can do all this dancing in slow-mo because it was super nice and it was very cinematic in the edit. So we get all this movement, we get everyone's smiling faces, and then we get like a lot of flickering, and it was just a really dynamic part in the event to shoot. So I didn't get to shoot this part, but like Miko got these people dancing, and I don't know. I didn't get to see that part, but there's that. So that is all the footage that Miko covered for the behind the scenes from the beginning of the event to the end of the event. And it wasn't a whole lot. He didn't follow me a whole lot through covering the whole thing, but he did what was needed. And thank you once again, Miko. So now that you have seen how I shot this, I think it'd be interesting if you guys saw the full edited version, which should be linked up here and also down below in the description. Hope you guys go check it out and tell me what you think about it. And hopefully this video helped you in any way possible on how you can cover events. And if you did learn something, go ahead and hit the like button. Also comment down below what you have learned. And also, if you think you have feedback for me on how I can cover events more efficiently and effectively, go ahead and comment those down below because I would love to learn something new and apply them to my workflow. And lastly, for more behind the scenes video like this, or even random vlogs, or even good for you videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and also that bell notification so you get notified every time I make those type of videos. And I'll see you guys on the next video. So, peace.